Seda. I am the program coordinator here with Media Done Responsibly. I've been with MDR a little bit over 8 years now, so you can definitely say this is a committed and long-term relationship. And I am devoted to the service and work of MDR because it is deeply interwoven into my life, work, and purpose. And I will continue to commit myself to the service of Media Done Responsibly. It all started back in 2013 when I was a sophomore at Mount St. Mary's University. I was part of the leadership program, and as a class assignment, we needed to choose an organization we wanted to work with and learn the ins and outs of their program. So we were showed a list of organizations, and immediately I felt this strong pull to Media Done Responsibly, and I knew that this was the organization I wanted to work with, especially when I had that first conversation with the founder and CEO of MDR, Chanel Curry. And little did I know then that MDR would take me much deeper and further than just fulfilling a class assignment. Ever since then, I was trained to be a mentor where I conducted workshops with middle school and high school students utilizing the MDR curriculum. I've also trained college students to conduct workshops as well. I have taken on the role of program coordinator, and I even led in the role of being executive assistant during the first MDR Awards back in 2016. Media Done Responsibly has and continues to transform my life in profound ways. It challenges me in the most empowering ways, where it provides a platform for me to not only tap into my leadership abilities, but my creative artistic abilities, and to recognize the importance of sharing my voice and unifying that with our communities. And with MDR, I am becoming the woman I've always aspired to be. Not only has MDR transformed my life, I have been a witness to see it impact the lives of those we partner with. And Media Done Responsibly is so much more than just a nonprofit organization. We are truly a family for humanity that shows up with integrity, with compassion, and with that fiery justice. With your support, we can continue to mentor and teach the importance of media literacy. We can continue to upbring leaders who will bring about necessary changes within our societal institutions. And we can continue to serve justice within our communities and be sure that our full humanity is wholesomely represented within the media. Thank you so much for your support in advance, and we are so happy to be joining you in this journey.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. I'm sure you've seen my face if you are a community member. I'm Erica Sarando, the Art House and Cafe Events Director. That is the space that you are in. Welcome to our safe space. We are happy to have you. A little bit of housekeeping if you are new to the space. The chat feature to the right is the main chat where everybody in the space can hear you. So if you have a question or you want to shout out or you want to give us some love, you can put it in the chat. Within your own tables, once we get into the actual conversation, you'll also have a chat. It's you'll see like a little talk bubble thing. You click on that, and then within your chat, you can type there. Because I know sometimes for me, when somebody's speaking, I don't want to lose my thought, but we also don't want to cross talk over people. So go ahead and drop it in there. And then once that person is done speaking, we can bring back up your topic. There are little faces, emojis that you can give love as well. I know I saw some of you using them earlier. For me, they're on the bottom of the screen. I'm not sure where they are for you. And then also at the end, we would love to hear from you and how your experience was, if you learned something, or just your overall feeling about today's topic, which is Autism Appreciation Month. And the way you'll do that is by raising your hand, which I believe for you is on the side to the right. So if you have any questions, you can also direct message any of us once you go to the message, or you can go to the people section and then select us, and then it'll send us a direct message if you have any questions. Otherwise, we hope that everyone enjoys.
Yes, and thank you so much, everyone, again, for joining us today and coming together to recognize Autism Appreciation Month. And we got some great information for you all today. And we're just going to delve into some really interesting facts and necessary conversation when it comes to talking about our unique friends on the spectrum, just to not only bring awareness, but also to expand our own perspectives and how we perceive autistic people, and how we also can better relate to each other and show more compassion and empathy and understanding and definitely acceptance. So we hope you all enjoy our conversation today. We got some fun stuff coming up for you. But before we get into that, let's bring up the founder and CEO of Media Done Responsibly, Chanel Curry.
Actually, before we bring up the wonderful Chanel, I do want to mention that we do have a surprise this month. We are reopening our art house gallery space. We have been on a bit of a hiatus from it, but we are opening it up this month, and we have featured artists this month from Starpoint Counseling, which are adult autistic people who have been working with this program to live their normal lives, and they have their own apartments, they work on jobs, and so this program helps them integrate into society as successfully as they can with their unique abilities, and helping them to know that you are a person who deserves that. So Starpoint Counseling is a great organization if you know anybody, any adult autistic people who are looking for some support. And we will be announcing that later, so follow us on all the socials. IG is at Media Done Responsibly, Facebook, Media Done Responsibly. I think we have a Twitter at Media Done Responsibly. I'm not a Twitter user, so I don't really know.
We absolutely do. Yes.
Yeah, so that is something that is cool coming up. So now I will bring Chanel Curry up to stage. Yay!
Now it's time. Yay! Thank you so much, Anais and Erica. It's always a joy to have you all start things off and bring your lovely beings and energy into this space. I just want everyone to know, any of my students in the audience, any of our current interns, these two lovely ladies started off as mentors for Media Done Responsibly. I know I'm like the mom who's like, and remember when she was 5, I'm that
pulling out the pictures, the photo album. Like, look at my baby when she was.
And look at her now. Yeah, that's totally me. So, no, but seriously, Erica is an alum of California State University, Los Angeles. Anais is an alum of Mount St. Mary's University, which are both community partners with Media Done Responsibly. And so a few years ago, they were mentors and they matriculated through the program. They became interns. As a matter of fact, Erica was our first intern at California State University, Los Angeles. Yes. So she set the stage for everyone who came after. And then they went through the program. Anais was a program coordinator at Mount St. Mary's University and held it down for a long time. And now they are both professionals, staff members of Media Done Responsibly. So I'm so proud of them and the work that they do and the way that they give back. And they both are boss ladies because they have their own companies outside of MDR as well. So that's what I'm talking about. So love it. But I want to welcome all of you. And I'm sharing that about them because this is what Media Done Responsibly is all about. We are about building and developing leaders and creating a sense of family and community among everyone who is here. So once you're here, you're here. And and our goal really is to support you with the school to career pipeline and help you become leaders, become confident in that. We have some graduating seniors this year that I'm really excited about, both Aaliyah Ward and Rebecca Medina. You're going to meet them in just a little bit. And so, and they've been with the program for a little bit of time as well. So just excited. And I know some of you are new interns that are coming on board as well. So really excited to see how you come through the program. So all of that, I was not necessarily supposed to say right now, but I just wanted to share that and also share another way in which we really want to support our community and support the stories that sometimes do not get told and do not get told properly. Like Erica talked about, we want to dismantle some of the stereotypes around autism. We want to get a greater understanding of how we are to engage with this community in a world that is not set up to engage with people who are not either quote unquote able-bodied or do not function in the way that we're taught that we're supposed to function. And so typically what we do is we think of those people as other, or something is wrong with them because they don't fit societal standards, as opposed to something is not right in our society that does not make room for all of the humans and individuals that are living in this world. And that's what we try to do. And we really want to help to educate people and tell their stories from their perspectives in ways that are powerful and positive. So one of the ways that you can support in that process, and one of the ways that we can help to give you shine, is through the Media Done Responsibly Virtual Film Festival. And I'm sharing it on my screen, but I'm also going to drop the link in the chat right here for you, because especially if you're a filmmaker, storyteller, you're a musician, this is an opportunity for you to share your story and have it featured in our film festival. And the goal is to make sure that we are honoring people that live in a traditionally disenfranchised, marginalized spaces in our society. And so we accept entries that center the lived experiences of Black, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQIA+ community, disabled, immigrant, women, non-binary, non-gender conforming, intersectional, or other traditionally marginalized communities. And it's important to know that the character, the main protagonist, must fall within at least one of these categories and not just be the best friend or someone who just happens to walk through the screen at one point in time, or not someone who's like a cardboard stereotypical character. These really need to be people who we're focusing on their story. We're wanting to center their stories. And so that's really important. If you go to this page, you will see a lot of the expectations for it, our different awards and prizes, the rules and terms for participating in it. And on the side, on the right-hand side, we have the dates and deadlines. So we opened on February 20th. And our first early bird deadline was March 31st. We have an extended early bird deadline that is this month, the end of this month, April 30th. And then our regular deadline is on June the 1st. So we have some extensions, but I want you to know that our actual film festival event will be October 14th through the 23rd. It is really fun. We come into this space, the Art House and Cafe, a lot get an opportunity to meet filmmakers, producers, executives who are in the industry, because the goal is for you to make those connections, get your stories told, learn from professionals to see how you can even improve. We have community roundtables, we have directors roundtables, a variety of different exciting things that happen as a part of it. And so these are the different categories and events and fees for which we are accepting entries. It does not have to be fully shot. If you want to submit a screenplay, you may do that. If you want to submit a music video, you may do that as well. And just click on it. You'll be able to see the prices for each of the different deadline points. Just a little hint, the further along we go in the year, the more expensive it becomes, but we do have student prices for everything. And also the length helps to determine the cost as well. Okay, so just a bit about our film festival. That is it for me and for my part. I'm going to hand it back over to these amazing leaders, and I will see you all in a bit. Thanks.
Thank you, Chanel. Always coming in with the word, okay? Just had to say that real quick. Chanel be coming in with the word. Look.
The film festival is so fun, y'all. I love how one of our interns, Lee, that they're not here today, but they always mention how exciting it is because we get to see the movies before anybody does. And some of them have been on large platforms, and they saw it and was like, oh my God, I've seen that movie before everyone else. So exclusive content here from MDR. And especially you'll be able to find out exclusive content from our Patreon, which we have.
Join the community.
And we have our lovely interns, Rebecca and Aaliyah, to come and tell you more about that. So let me bring them onto stage. Where are you, lovely ladies? I'm going to put us... Okay, we'll be back.
Okay. Can everyone see me? I hope. Can you see me, Erica? Leah, can you see me? Or am I kind of cut off? Okay, cool. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Rebecca. And then go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Aaliyah.
We're going to be talking about Patreon. So as Anais mentioned earlier, it really is a community. What MDR really is we're trying to build this community, this like safe space that we can all come together as to talk about, well, like we're doing today, this cafe conversation about topics that sometimes aren't really spoken about, or sometimes are spoken about in a wrong or misleading way, or information can be left out, or they can just be topics that are also difficult to talk about. So with Patreon, you'll get access to these. Oh, what's that? Oh, hold on a second. Can't put on my camera. What's going on? I don't have access to my camera. Erica. All right, well, I'll just keep talking until, really, you guys just have to hear me. So, like I said, you'll get exclusive access to our cafe conversations, but in addition, it's also a creative space for our house and gallery, for creators, for filmmakers, for our film festival. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yes. So just to add on to what Rebecca was saying, I just shared our Patreon page. Chanel also shared it in the chat if you guys want to check that out. So we do have different tiers that everybody can join, starting off with one that's just $3 a month. As everybody at MDR always likes to say, like, that's lower than some cups of coffee. I know it's way lower than Starbucks. Usually Starbucks is around like $6. Well, at least my order. So, it's pretty cheap. And with that, you can get the Patreon only posts and messages, first look at our featured artists. You get a first look at the MDR Art House and Gallery, and just the simple joy of seeing media done responsibly thrive. If you support us and support our mission, then we would really appreciate it if you would join. And from there, the tiers go up. We have 6 tabs in total. And basically how it works is each tier, not tab, sorry, each tier builds on top of the tier before it. So just like the $3 one, when you go up to the $5 one, you can get access to the cafe conversations. Like today, you can get merch, you can also see media done responsibly thrive. And then the next one up is the $10 one. You get access to the art house for that one. And then we have a $30 membership, which is the director's chair. This one includes a vendor booth at the MDR Art House. Only after being a member for 3 months. You'll get a shout out in our MDR Art House and Cafe newsletter. Only after 3 months of being a member, of course. And you'll also get a monthly Art House cinema pass. And then we just keep building on top of that to one that is like $500 a month, all access. Film festival passes, you'll get VIP media access to ads. So yeah, hopefully you guys will come to our page and check it out. We have a lot of new and exciting things that are happening this year, and we wouldn't want you guys to miss any of that. So if you're willing to spare just $3 a month, we would really appreciate if you could be a part of our growth. And yes. Hopefully there are no questions. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen, but don't forget to check out the page just so you remember. It is also in the chat. Professor Curry already, Erica already posted the link in the chat. So you can go ahead and check that out. We'll post it again probably later on after we have the conversations. And yeah, you guys can just check that out at any time, and hopefully you'll become a part of the. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing that information. And yes, please check it out. Tell your friends, tell your family. We'd love to have you a part of our community. And next, there we go. It's dropped in for easy access again. Thanks, Aaliyah. Rebecca, how's it going, doll?
My camera keeps turning off every time a comment gets shared on the live. So
interesting.
Yeah, that's why it keeps going on and off. So just wanted to update you.
Okay, well, we will deal with it. No problem. So next on the docket, we have a fun little trivia game. Oh, let me bring Anais back up too. Anais, where are you? There you are. So if you were able to catch our live, you will know that Rebecca currently works with people on the autism spectrum doing ABA, and I did as well for several years previously. So if you have any questions once we go through this trivia game, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we will be happy to help you. Also know that we will be expanding on this once we get into the actual conversation portion. So either way, we'd love to hear from you. And let's get started. You will all be able to answer. You'll see the polls coming up. Let's see. I will show them on stage once we are at the question. And you'll have 15 seconds to answer each question, and we will let you know.
Okay, I'm just trying to get my screen shared. So let me get this open real quick. Okay. There we go. Everyone can see the trivia game?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself.
All right, let's.
Okay, so like Erica mentioned, there's just gonna be that poll on the side panel. We're gonna count. You're gonna get 15 seconds to answer the question. I will show you the timer, and so you'll be able to cast your vote, and then after seconds, we'll give you the correct answer. Okay. Round one. Autism is a spectrum that appears in different forms, levels of severity. No one autistic person is the same and experience their own unique symptoms, strengths, and challenges. Is this true or is this false? You have 15 seconds.
And that's time. We finally did it. And the answer is, oh, we lost Rebecca. Okay, and the answer is true. Comes in, let me explain. If anybody wants to see this bigger as well, there are 4 arrows pointing outward so that you can, I know the text is kind of small, so if you expand your screen, you'll be able to get a clearer picture. The answer is true. Autism comes in varying forms, for it is a spectrum. For example, some children can be high functioning language skills, motor skills, have poor eye contact, facial expressions. Those subtle but unusual patterns of behavior are what make it difficult to know whether a child has autism or just needs time with their behavioral development. However, children can be diagnosed with autism as young as 2 years old. Some can have high language skills and speech at a young age. In later years, their speech and language can become delayed. All right, and round 2. How are autistic people often represented within film? And A, the autistic savant / gifted. B, robotic and emotionless. C, genius, above average intelligence. Or D, all of the above. You have 15 seconds. Oops. Time. I know, I wish we could listen to the full thing. Maybe we'll do it for 30 seconds. And the answer is, oh, I don't think anybody put in their answers. The answer is all of them. Many portrayals in popular media meant to spread awareness, some perpetuated unrealistic stereotypes. The autistic savant, a person with autism has exceptional skill or brilliance in some limited field, is the most common. The 1988 MGA film Rain Man is most well known. More recently, TV shows such as NBC's The Good Doctor and CBS's The Big Bang Theory have a similar theme. Although portraying a character with severities and ASD is not inaccurate, it only represents about 10% of individuals on the autism spectrum. It is often mentioned that the stereotype of the autistic savant raises expectations to an unrealistic level, causing disappointment and frustration for the many autistic persons not so gifted. This also includes stereotypes of the autistic genius as seen on The Good Doctor and The Big Bang Theory. Further, movies on autistic savants propose a robotic view of the autistic person, which may reinforce the myth of autistic persons having no true feelings, which is false. In fact, most autistic folks tend to over-empathize, yet have challenging time identifying and expressing emotions. And this little picture we have here is a really, really great example. So there you go. And next.
All right, round 3. Black and brown children are often overlooked when it comes to autism. Do you guys think this is true or false? 15 seconds.
There we go. There the votes are. And that's time.
The answer is true. Research has shown us that BIPOC often have implicit biases, lack of understanding, and even systemic racism to overcome in the healthcare system. This creates an additional layer of stress to an already stressful journey of raising a child with autism and navigating complex systems throughout their course of life. ASD affects people of all races and ethnicities, but research shows that African American and Latino/Hispanic children with autism are diagnosed at older ages than white children, giving them less of an opportunity for proper intervention and treatment. Some families face healthcare access issues and prohibitive costs for treatment, and some families just don't know how important it is to get diagnosed to move on to the treatment phase. The dialogue between doctors and minority families during the diagnosis process is critical. Autism professionals must do the work to build authentic and trusting relationships with our people with autism and their families.
All right, round 4. This one might be a little more difficult for y'all. Can you identify any of these autistic leaders? Oh, and 15 seconds. All right, and that is time. See, we got a couple Einsteins. Nice. All right. So you were correct on Albert Einstein, but we also have some amazing other people. Let's see. Benjamin Banneker, a unique figure in the late 18th, early 19th century history. He was a brilliant African-American scholar who lived as a free man in a time when slavery was still legal in the U.S. While people were not diagnosed for ASD during his time, many suspect from historical records that he properly had an ASD condition. During his life, he was a farmer, inventor, astronomer, naturalist, surveyor, and author, all during a period when the color of his skin should have been a huge limitation. Instead, he transcended all of these limitations. Tylan Grant. Tylan is the first non-binary actress who is autistic to land a mainstream role on British television, according to the production company Lime Pictures. They were diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome in 2009 at the age of 7, and has spoken about the difficulties they faced while attending school due to there being little awareness on the syndrome at the time. They are an ambassador for the National Autistic Society, using their platform to speak out about lack of representation and awareness of autism in the media. And I would like to add that Asperger's is no longer a term that we use. It is encapsulated within autism spectrum altogether. It can be a little bit stigmatizing. So now it's just ASD. Albert Einstein, a theoretical physicist, widely acknowledged to be one of the greatest and most influential physicists of all time. Einstein is best known for developing the theory of relativity, but he also made important contributions to the development of the theory of quantum mechanics. As a child, he experienced severe speech delays and later echolalia, or the habit of repeating sentences to himself. Such characteristics had led many experts to conclude that he appeared somewhere on the autism spectrum. He was also involved in the civil rights movement and spoke out against racism. And lastly, but not least, Brianna Clark. Athlete Brianna Clark was diagnosed with autism at the age of 4, but that didn't slow her down. Brianna started competing in sports, mainly track and field, from a young age. She became a professional athlete. Clark has competed at the Paralympic Games, World Championships, and Pan American Games, helping the U.S. win the gold medal in the 4x400 relay each time. Yay! Round 5.
Alrighty, round 5. Autism can be cured. Is this true or false?
Oop, it's time. Oh, nice. I like we got some varying answers here. Oh, looks like we lost Rebecca again. Okay. The answer is definitely false. There is no cure for autism, but experts agree that the best way to manage symptoms and develop independent skills is through applied behavioral analysis, ABA therapy. Specific to each person, there's no one-size-fits-all treatment. ABA therapy can be controversial, as some can interpret the practice as trying to cure autism. It's important, however, to focus on the efforts taken to adapt the behaviors. That is, to help the autistic person integrate and flourish within their unique abilities. Unfortunately, the world is mainly set up for neurotypical and able-bodied people. And while the hope is to create an all-encompassing world, it is the job of a therapist to help prepare the autistic person for life in the real world. The spread of misinformation, such as there being a cure for autism, continues to add to the stigmatization of autistic people. Autism is not a disease. It's a neurological and developmental disorder that can show signs as early as infancy and last throughout a person's life. It is a part of who they are. I can't read that last part. It is a part of who they are.
I just wanted to add, I'm sorry everyone, I keep getting kicked out, so I'm hoping I don't get kicked out again.
Do you want to do this one?
Yes, I'll do that one. So round 6, vaccines cause autism, true or false?
Come on. All right, and that's time. Awesome, more varying answers.
All right, false. A CDC study published in 2013 added to the research showing that vaccines do not cause ASD. The study focused on the number of antigens given during the first 2 years of life. Antigens are substances in vaccines that cause the body's immune system to produce disease-fighting antibodies. The results showed that the total amount of antigen from vaccines received was the same between children with ASD and those that did not have ASD. Further, vaccine ingredients do not cause autism. One vaccine ingredient that has been studied specifically is thimerosal. Thimerosal is a mercury-based preservative used to prevent germs, like bacteria and fungi, from contaminating multi-dose vials of vaccines. Research shows that thimerosal dose does not cause ASD. In fact, a 2004 scientific review by the International Organization for Migration concluded that the evidence favors rejection of a causal relationship between thimerosal-containing vaccines and autism.
Fantastic. Great job, everybody. Thank you so much for participating and for being vulnerable with your answers, whether you knew them or not. Some great organizations to support. Pathways to Employment Corporation. This one is really near and dear to my heart. One of the mothers of a client that I formerly worked with started this as a way to give her daughter a place to go. And her daughter is nonverbal. She works on physical dexterity issues and in most instances would not be employable as far as the outer world goes. And so she saw this need and she created this organization for kiddos like hers and others to come and hang out. And they do stuff like walking the neighbors' dogs. My kiddo, that her daughter loves laundromats. And so part of her job is to help people with their laundry. And it just makes them integrate into society and acknowledges the real human that they are. So it's a great organization to follow. And you can check them out on Facebook, I think. I'm not sure if they have an IG, but definitely Facebook. And then they have a website as well. Starpoint Consulting, I mentioned them earlier. They also support adults on the autism spectrum in helping them get housing, helping them to live more independent lives. Oftentimes, people forget that children who are on the autism spectrum turn into adults on the autism spectrum. And most treatment plans and organizations stop at about 18. Some go to 21, depending on which organization you're with. But after that, it's up to the family to figure out what they do. And unfortunately, sometimes that means sending them to homes to live into, because it is a lot of work for families to help keep supporting them. So Starpoint gives these autistic people the license to live their lives as they should. They help them with employments. Some of them work at movie theaters. Some of them work retail, fast food restaurants, all that they're more highly than capable to participate in. It's just they need guidance on how to navigate the world with all of us neurotypical people who may not quite understand them. And then Meetup is a great website that I found that if you know somebody who is on the autism spectrum and their families are looking for things to do, if you join Meetup, there's different organizations that are hosting events that are catered to specific needs of each child. So it's a great place to look up for fun stuff to do for people on the autism spectrum. And one very important thing that I'd like to note is I know that if you Google autism or you hear about autism, more than likely you're going to hear of Autism Speaks. Autism Speaks is a huge organization who started out with the best of intentions, but has grown so much as corporations do, and has been recently known to share very misleading information. Also, a lot of money that is donated to them that they say goes to specific people on the autism spectrum is often not used appropriately, but mostly they tend to spread misleading information. So if you are doing your own research, I would advise seeking help there. Oops. All right. And we are going to take a quick break. You don't have to do anything. We will be right back with you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us thus far. And we are going to be getting to our cafe conversation in just a bit.